last few months, I was like, we're definitely moving on. There's no way. But obviously, Billy saw something and felt, and look, I'm fully on this Billy Napier train. So whatever he feels like, hey, we need to be moving towards, I'm going to support it because I like what I've seen thus far. So for him to really convince him, it shows that, look, he sees something that maybe, like you said, we're not being able to see, or he says, look, here's the offense I'm trying to run. You are that perfect piece. However, if it doesn't work out for Emory and he's not going to be the guy, does he stay to be the backup? Is he going to risk his last year playing as being the backup, or does he make a last, lateral? Is there still time? Can he still transfer? He still can, right?
He can. And I think that may be the one thing that Emory can fall back on is he didn't make the decision to transfer, prior to the spring, but in the current state of football, he could have already courted a team, and they just didn't come to agreement right then. It's going to be a little bit of a transition to all of a sudden in the middle of the year, but he could feasibly get up and walk out game 2 if he felt like that. It was already a decision.
Sure, it wouldn't be ideal because obviously transitioning, but my thing is I think he would have a pretty good idea in the spring and into summer ball where he's going to be sitting, right? Does Miller make a good push and say, look, I'm going to be the second guy, if not the first guy, and that kind of bumps Emory if he doesn't really sell himself of being the number one. They're like, look, you're kind of floating between 2 and 3, and if you're floating between 2 and 3, it's time. If I'm Emory, I'm out of there, kind of thing, right? And I think that's where it's gonna play too.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he wants to play football, he's going to have to get somewhere. He's going to have to do it quickly, and he's going to need to be in spring practice, or at least that summer practice going into fall, in order to establish himself. But look, the kid's not awful. I think he's got some ability. He's got the ability to play well at maybe another school. I think what they've done at Florida, especially with AR-15 and the talent he has, and then bringing in Miller, it's going to pinch him out. I think we'll see what Emory does, man. He's been a little sly as a quarterback for a while. It's going to be tough to outplay those guys, but he's figured out a way to do it with other quarterbacks in the past.
So Ivor Whitehead said he has 2 years of eligibility left due to COVID. Now, Muddy made a good point here, and this is kind of where we were kind of edging on too. There's 2 things I want to bring up that Muddy said. One is Emory is Napier's security blanket, which is exactly what we're saying, is that he's going to be the guy that, look, I'm trying to make an impact fast, and you can be that guy, right? Because AR has injury problems, which we've talked about in the past, and Miller may not be just quite ready yet to, hey, you can be my security blanket. But the point is, while we're asking, does Emory ride that line? Does he take that risk of being that security blanket? And now, knowing he has 2 years left, maybe he does. Maybe he takes that seat of, look, I'll be your guy through this year, and either I'm going to be your guy to the end of my career, or I'm going to ride out here, learn a lot from you, and I'm going to go take it somewhere else, and I'll go dominate, because he's not going to play in a big school if he were to leave. And the other thing I want to mention on which we're going to get into, we have some of the clips from Tuesday, and I was seeing the same thing when I watched this, but I have a bias because Jack Miller is my Dark Knight, and I didn't want to say anything, but this is Muddy saying this. He goes, just from watching the short clips, he says Miller looks really sharp as a passer, and that's exactly what I thought. There's a quick little bubble screen, he tosses it out, and I was like, look, it looked clean. Again, it's one pass, but those things, it's small stuff, right? And all we have to look at, it's going to be very finite that we're going to be judging on. So
we're college football fans. This is what we hang our hats on. It's spring practice. We're 3 days in. Like we're just locked in. So it is what it is.
It's exciting. Daniel Riviera, we got to give Daniel his airtime. He's talking some shit. He's convinced that the Florida will be the next Tennessee. I am convinced otherwise, that nobody will ever be that armpit of a school. Okay, Daniel? All right. So I appreciate your insight, but there's no shot.
Nobody can out Tennessee what Tennessee has done to Tennessee.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to do. Absolutely. Let's see if there's anything else that we missed. Ivor White said, I think having Utah, Kentucky, and Tennessee in the first 4 games is a factor. I agree. We have mentioned that too. I think those first 4 big games, we really don't have a warm-up session like we typically do. And I think that's where the fate of Emory still lives. And as a Gator fan, I'm sure nobody wants it. I really don't want it. But now at the same time, look, if he can control it, like you said, Emory has the presence, he has the snaps, he's got the resume to fill in that role very quickly and be effective. And that's where I think where he's going to have a good selling point here. Right now, again, he's taking second reps based on Tuesday's practice. How much does that mean to anything? I don't know. But again, he did say AR looks good. So we'll see.